A lot of very interesting things happening in the market. 21 shares ETF was delayed. I don't know if it was a fumble on their S1 or some of the other filings and why it's been delayed. But we did see a huge announcement today from Vanguard. I've been speculating for probably 6-7 months now, since they first started talking about the ETFs, that we would see Vanguard play a role along with BlackRock and potentially Fidelity. Fidelity, obviously, they've allowed their advisors to allow their clients to participate in all of the ETFs up to this point, including the Bitcoin, Ethereum, and everything else that's been listed. Vanguard has been standoff. They've not allowed any of their $10 trillion worth of assets that they manage to participate in any capacity in any crypto products. And as of tomorrow, that's going to be huge inflows that move into these ETFs, these spot ETFs, all four. And I think there may even be more than that. But Bitcoin, ETH, Solana, and XRP for sure will all be available to the advisors and their clients at Vanguard tomorrow. Big Tuesday here in December. What a way to start off the month. We've been talking about, this being the month for a long time, and it's looking very juicy with everything that is culminating here to potentially push prices substantially higher for XRP in particular this month. Something else that I've talked about before, but I think has been glossed over. The OCC approved banks' ability to hold crypto to be able to pay fees for settling on these networks. That's a big deal. They can hold crypto on their balance sheet now, and in a regulated way for a regulated reason to participate, settle transactions on these networks. So they can have a treasury or a large position of certain assets to be able to cover those costs. And it considers an asset on their balance sheets. So XRP does cost a little bit of XRP every single time a transaction sent. It's like 0.00000012 XRP or something. It's very small, less than a penny to send $1 million. Okay, but that's still a gas fee, and you do need the token in order to be able to cover those costs. So now you could see, institutions, I don't want to say hoarding XRP, but holding large amounts of XRP to be able to make sure that they have some. This person's asked, am I Zach Rector's daddy? I am not Zach Rector's daddy. Zach's a good guy. He's out there. He's another channel over here that talks about XRP a lot. So anyway, back to this, the deal at hand. It seems to me like all of the things are in place for everything that I've been talking about for 18 months here. I put out my domino theory back in March of 2024, March of 2024, excuse me, corrected myself. It hasn't been 2 years. It's only been 18 months. But I put that video out and we talked about, the reverse carry trade unwinding, the flooding of U.S. Treasuries onto the market, us passing stablecoin regulation to be able to soak up those treasuries, the ETFs going live, the destabilization, which, Bitcoin's not already unstable, but the destabilization of Tether because of some means, either sanctions or they don't comply with the stablecoin bill, which they don't. We also got news today that they are going to figure out what it's going to look like for a cryptocurrency-backed stablecoin here in the U.S. Their regulators are starting to look at that now. I've postured for a long time that XRP in particular would become a tier 1 asset and be used to back stablecoins potentially, and other, be a reserve asset effectively. I think that that's a great possibility. All that takes is one announcement by the BIS, and it is game over. People will be clamoring for XRP to be able to use it if it becomes a reserve asset. I think that you're going to see gold, oil, and XRP used to back the new financial system, or, that's probably a weird way to put that. There's a lot of people out there that talk about a quantum financial system and a bunch of crazy stuff. This is just a transition from the way that things look today that's going to migrate to something that has real tangible backing, if it's gold or oil. We're also about to see the dinar get revalued. Huge deal in the Middle East. And they've also allowed Ripple to operate at scale. Just so happens at the same time they're in the UAE. We also saw Ripple just yesterday evening get the announcement from Singapore that they are fully regulated to be able to operate in their full capacity there in that jurisdiction. So as far as I'm aware, that's global coverage for Ripple and the use of XRP if there's enough liquidity in the asset. And the only way that that's going to happen is a huge rotation